Hello, this is Judy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me here. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. Today's video is the third part of the Secret Garden scrapbooking workshop. This was originally from Close to My Heart, who's now closed, and StampinUp has brought their products in. And soon, StampinUp is supposed to be coming out with their own scrapbooking workshop. So I'm hoping that they follow the same kind of design that Close to My Heart had, because we're all used to it and it works. We are on a third set of 2-page layouts. And if you haven't seen the other two, I will link them at the end of this video. And this is the layout that as they have it designed. And this is the second page. Okay, so what it has is a large floral behind, then a layer of the dot, and then the French vanilla, and then some other pieces on the front for one main photo. And I'm again going to use pictures from my scrapbooking retreat, the Turkey Trot. These colors are really pretty. This is actually the periwinkle color that Close to My Heart had. And I went ahead and gutted my papers, because there was a whole sheet of this, I cut out the center, and then a whole sheet of this that I cut out the center. Not only does it save on paper that you can use somewhere else, you know, paper is expensive, not that I don't have tons of it, but this particular paper I really wanted to save, and it reduces the bulk in your scrapbook, the weight and the bulk of all those extra pieces of paper. So that's why I do it. So this is one that is already done, and you can see how nicely that it came out. All right, so the one thing I wanted to show you, in one of the other previous videos, I did show how to gut your paper with your trimmers. And in this one, I want to show you how to attach them, because I don't think I went through that. You know, you could use liquid glue. I have done that before, and I'd put liquid glue here, and then you put the paper on top, and hope you get it down before the glue starts to dry. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's off, and then if you have to take your paper up, it can rip. You can also use a tape runner. But then again, you know, if you don't get it precisely laid down, it could stick in places, and then you have to peel it up. I have found that the tear tape works best. As right now, I change on how I do things so often. So right now, this is what works for me. So I'll put it on the outside edge of my paper and run it along. And this is a pressure adhesive. So if you burnish it down, it's going to really stick. But if you don't burnish it down, you still have a little bit of time to maybe pull it up if you don't push it down too hard. So let me get these put down. Tape along all of the sides. Now what I'm going to do, and I haven't burnished it, so what I'm going to do now is just carefully peel away from 2 of the corners. I'm not going to do all 4 corners. And this tape, particular roll of tear tape, is very old, and I have had some trouble with it not peeling perfectly. But, you know, it's still good. And I don't want to throw it away just because it doesn't peel perfectly. So now I'm going to have this lined up on my Versamat, and any kind of mat would work as long as, you know, it has the measuring lines. Okay, so it looks good. And I can move it because I haven't pushed it down. So that looks really good. So now I'm going to hold it down, and I'm going to press in these corners. All right, just one of them. I'm not going to do this one. And then I'm going to take the tape and just peel it down. And that one peeled really nice. And now I'm going to press that down. So now that side is done. And now I can peel this side and do the same there. And then go from these 2 and go up. And press. And the last one, hopefully this one tears off as well, or peels nicely. Oh, see, that one didn't, but that's okay. I got most of it down. I don't think there's going to be a lot. Oh, there is some. So let me see if I can carefully detach this. I did. Let's get some of it. All right. All right, so that worked. So this is done. So the rest of the layout. So I gutted out even these smaller ones. Because can you imagine if I'd had all these solid pieces of paper on here, how much paper that is. And I think it was on the honey butter. And there's one more frame. No, this one was a solid piece. It goes there. And it also has this strip. It's going to go down here. And then 2 side pieces. And I'm really glad. This could have been a whole green piece that they had underneath, but they chose to show us that you could just use small ones and make it work that way. Now these are dovetailed. I will show you how I dovetail them. So some people will cut in. They'll find the center. It's 4 inches, so the 2 inches where the center is. I'll show you the 2 ways. So you're going to take the center, and I'll measure it because it's so big, and you're going to cut in. And because this is so big, using larger scissors usually works better. So it's going to that dot right there. And they go from side to side. Okay? And then I'll actually flip it. It'll be easier for me to go this way. So this corner to the other one. And I didn't get it good. I never can get these right. Well, sometimes now it looks okay. The way I usually do it is I just fold it. I know the center is there. And then I will go from, let's see, I can go from this side. Make sure the corners are together. I'm not creasing it. I'm just going to hold it together like this and cut. And now I know I've got it perfect. It just works better for me. Whatever works for you, right? That's the dovetailing. All right. Tuck those behind there. So I need to get these taped down. And I'm going to show you the photos that are going to be on these 2 pages. So we have some group shots this time of the ladies that were at my turkey trot. And we're going to put the main group photo here on this page. I'm going to go ahead and put this one on the top. And this one was where we all do a funny pose. And here I am in the back going, yay. So, and some other people did. And I will probably matte this. I think I might do it on green, because that'll really make it pop off of this periwinkle. And because there's so many different colors in the shirts, it works with whatever color you use. I'm going to go ahead and get these adhered down, and then I'll be back. Before I adhere it down, I am going to ink the edges with periwinkle so that everything goes together. I didn't ink these edges. It's pretty defined there, so I'm okay with it. But I'm going to ink these edges because they are a different color and they're going against that French vanilla base, especially this one. So I'm going to use this dauber, and these are relatively inexpensive and last quite a long time. And I just rub it on here to distribute the ink into the foam top. And then you can just rub it along the edge to have it really pop out. It just adds a little more definition. I really like it. And you can do like this, and it gives you just a little bit more color. Sometimes I'll run it along the edge like this for a very slim line of color. It all depends on your preference, and play around with it. It's a really great way to get the ink on the edge there. So that is inking your edges. If you haven't seen that before, I show it in many of my videos, so you may have seen it already. All right, I'm going to stamp the It's a Beautiful Light, which is what they had on the designed layout, and it's here. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I put this down. I measured it and put it down, and then these 2 I put down with a little bit of foam on the outside to give them a little dimension, and then this is going to go here. So what I need to do is determine where to stamp it. I'm going to get a pencil. And I'm just going to put a light line here to make sure I know I can go above that. And let's see, whereabouts is the middle. So the 6-inch mark is right around there. Good. All right, so let me get a block. All right, and I'm going to use pine ink. I'm going to stamp it on some scrap first, just to make sure that it is inked well and conditioned. I guess Stampin' Up! Doesn't condition their stamps. They, I don't know if it's a different quality or consistency or manufacturing process or whatever it is that they don't feel that they need to do it. But I think it's so ingrained in us from close to my heart that we will regardless. All right, it's not too bad. I'm going to ink it a few more times. I'm also going to turn my Versamat over so that I have the cushion. I'm going to move this out of the way before we have a mess. And you can even flip it over and rub it. But I can't, of course, do that with the layout, but that looks pretty good. If it doesn't, oh, look at that. That would not be good. If it doesn't come out good, I can always stamp it on a scrap piece or a piece like this and then cut it out. And that still doesn't look good. All right. I'm going to just do this with it. I guess they're in the manufacturing process of close to my heart stamps. They can leave the residue on the stamps, and especially these solid type images, so that it looks a little better already. Right, let's get another piece of scrap. It's like beating up on the stamps. That looks better though, much better. Yeah, much better. Let's say a prayer. That looks good. I should have gone up a little though, because the line is where I put it, and I should have gone above the line. Up, and I had some on my finger. But that'll be under the photo. All right, so I'm going to let it dry. It came out nice. I'm going to let it dry, and then I can erase that line. And I'll get my stamp cleaned. And I have this Stampin' Scrub from Stampin'Up, and it has to be 25 to 30 years old. It still works good. It's like those painting pads. Have you ever seen those? You can use those or the same thing, but I like having the case. And the Stampin' Mist, this is also from ever ago, 1999. This is 1999. So it's 24 years old. Yeah. Stuff lasts forever. And use wet on one side and dry on the other, and it gets your stamps really clean in all those little areas. Stamp chamois are great, but they don't get in all those crevices. So I always come back and use my Stampin' Scrub after I've used the stamp several times. Like if I'm at a crop or a class or whatever, I'll use the scrub to clean them all and then put them away. It's a good deep conditioning. Like you wash your dishes, and then you put them in the dishwasher to give them that deep clean. Get rid of these pencil marks, and I'm going to find that eraser. This is the sand eraser I was talking about. It erases like these ink marks like that. Just sand it away until you get to the base. It doesn't work really good on white core cardstock though, because you sand away the color and then you have white. So this is how it's supposed to be. I like it. So we'll have a cluster up here and some more stamping. So we'll get that done. Smile down here, which I can do, and another cluster down here. So it looks like they use some of the little filler stamps in the stamp set. So we're going to use some of these fillers. There's hearts and dots. You can actually do both of them. There's the hearts. There's the dots. We'll do some sage. And these are going to be behind where the clusters are. And then for the hearts, I'm going to do it in the periwinkle. I think that's good. So we got them in 3 places: large, medium, a small. Another thing I want to do is some splatters. Okay, so I brought out my sage and my periwinkle. I'll get a block to tap on it. Never open them over your project, just in case there's ink and it gets all over. And I just add some nice sparkle and shine. Looks good. So now we'll add some periwinkle. I made those hearts and dots really blend into the background. We have the photo mat, which is going to go here. And I was going to pop it up on foam, but because I'm going to have a flip flap there, I'm not going to do that. That's pretty too, right? So I'm going to use this tape that's almost gone and get this laid down. Okay, I really like how this turned out with the green behind the photo mat. Now we need to add some flowers. And I can use the periwinkle. I've got a leaf, and a leaf. And doing the embellishment arranging is probably one of the most time-consuming things that I do. It just seems like it takes forever. So I will be back in a minute with everything kind of rearranged so you can see what I finally ended up with. All right, the layout is finished. I took away that bright yellow one. It had the Sundance type color. It just was too overpowering. And so I used the periwinkle, large flowers, the honey butter, small flowers, and just added a bunch of fillers. So this one is glacier because we have the glacier here. It just turned out really pretty. I am so pleased with it. And then with the flip flap, it looks great. Okay, so now I'm going to do the left side and see what I come up with for the other photos. So here are the components that I have so far. I've got to do a little stamping. They had happy, happy, happy on theirs, and they did it in periwinkle. And I think that's all. They did some little dots, probably up here too, but I just can't see them. So we'll do that, and we'll add the splatters. And I also want to do memories, because happy, happy, happy memories. I think I will stamp that on a piece of colored paper and then cut it out, and so I can lift it up. And then I have to ink the edges. Okay, and because I used the pine on the other one, I think I will use pine on this one too. Let's get that scrap piece of paper, or a scrap, so I can make sure the stamp's good. That looks good. Let's just make sure there's no residue on there. We'll stamp it again. Oh yes, it looks much better. Let's make sure we know where this is going to be. So this is 8 inches. It doesn't leave a lot of room for this to be stamped, does it? It's going to overlap. I could move it over a little bit to go over there. All right, so that leaves enough room. All right. I'm going to leave it here to make sure that it soaks into the paper. Oh, it turned out good. Now we'll do memories. And if you have one of these clear stamps and they get out of shape, put it down on something that's not real sticky, like your fingers. It sticks in my fingers, so it gets all misshapen. So put it down where it lays flat and takes its own shape, and then pick it up with your block. And usually it will be pretty good. All right, so now we'll practice with that one. Let's do this in periwinkle. Just kind of rub it on that paper. The bold stamps that have a lot of flat space for the ink to adhere to are notoriously hard to get a good image. I would really like that memories to show well. Like I said, a lot depends on the paper and the ink. I still like that one best. Keep waiting for it to dry to see what it looks like. I think I'm still going with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. I think that's the best I'm going to get. It's not bad. It's just I want memories to show up a little bit better, and it's a very thin line. So it might work better with a darker color. I don't know. But I wanted the periwinkle, so we're going to go with it. There we go. This will go on. This will go on. I just have to ink the edges, and then I'll be back. All right, well, we had some company, and my husband was talking, so I went ahead and finished the layout. Really didn't change much. I just put down the pieces as they were in the layout, as designed by Close to My Heart. The flowers came out really pretty. I did the splattering and stamping as I did on the first layout. I added strips of paper here for everybody to write their name. The little memories that I stamped, I used a white gel pen to try and highlight some of it, and it really came out nice. And these flowers, I did bring out the dots and put some dots there. It's just so pretty. I just love this paper. And I'm normally not I love flowers, yes, but I don't use a lot of flowers in my scrapbooking. So here's the two layouts together. So again, the group photos, and then these two group photos. I do have some more group photos, but I didn't want to put some behind others. I think they're important enough to have these ladies in the forefront. Yeah, really, really pretty. I hope you enjoyed these layouts. I'll probably make some more. I don't know if I'll do videos on them, but I'll try to post pictures of them if I do. Or if you're at the retreats, make sure you sign wherever your photos are, and let me know you saw it, okay? Thank you. Have a wonderful day.